in 2020 there are approximately 1.2 billion cars in the world. But, and this is going to seem quite odd, there was a time when there weren't any, and people had to depend on either horse-drawn transport or, if you couldn't afford that, basically you had to walk. But the problem with horses is that they are a bit unreliable. You've got to catch them, feed them, vets, bills, all that sort of stuff. So over a period of years, a lot of people have been thinking about, well, hang on a second, if we could stick some wheels and an engine together, that might work, that might solve us a few problems. But the first guy to achieve this was a man called Carl Benz, and obviously the Benz name you will recognise. And this is a replica of what is effectively the world's first serious motor car. So this is a replica of the 1886 Benz patent Motorbug. And it's a very simple sort of contraption, you could call it. It's got a little single cylinder engine. It doesn't even use petrol as a fuel. It uses a strange chemical they use to get stains out of clothes. And it is a three-wheeler, and the controls are very, very simple. To begin with, there is no steering wheel. There's a tiller, so all you do is turn that, the wheel turns, and hopefully you go the right way. The only other control that's particularly important is the green lever over on that side. And when that's pulled all the way back, as it is now, you are stationary. Push it forward, you start to move. Push it all the way forward, and you are howling along at about 12 miles an hour. Carl Benz built this thing and spent basically all the family money, all his own money, all the money he'd inherited from his wife Bertha, and then sat there and looked at it. Nobody seemed to want the thing, so it was just sitting there. Now, Bertha was a bit hacked off about this. There was no money, and she thought, right, I need to teach my husband a lesson here. So early one morning in the summer of 1886, she got up really early, 5 o'clock in the morning, woke her two sons up, Eugen and Heinrich, and said, come on, we're borrowing the car. And the boys, of course, said, oh, well, we'll go and tell Daddy. No, don't tell him. We're going off to see Granny. And the boys are looking at her thinking, that's a long way away, that's 120 kilometres away. Are we going to get there? But they got into the car and off they went. It was a long journey. It took 17 hours. The roads were rotten, so the thing was bouncing about all over the place. It broke down a couple of times, couldn't make it up the hills, they had to get off and push. But 17 hours later, they'd started off in the German town of Mannheim, and they rolled into Pforzheim, which is where Mrs. Benz Senior lived. Now the whole thing about this, it made Bertha and the boys and this thing famous. This was extraordinary, this is a sensation. It got into the newspapers. This lady who borrowed this car and made this huge journey. And soon there was a queue of people wanting to buy Carl Benz's latest wonderful invention. And the rest, of course, is history. This is the first Mercedes-Benz.